And welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you, visiting with Amanda Anschutz from Compassion Delivered. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. We met about a year ago.
Yes.
And you had just gotten this great idea, and we're starting it up. Tell me a little bit about the incredible growth of Compassion Delivered and what you do, first of all.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me this morning. I appreciate it. Compassion Delivered, we started actually in January of 2017, and so we're almost getting ready to celebrate 3 years,
Wow.
which is crazy to me. Sometimes it feels like it's been 3 years, and sometimes it feels like it just started yesterday.
Yes.
But in our very short existence, we have been able to provide healthy meals to people that are battling, coping with life-threatening or terminal illnesses here in our area. And so we've been doing that faithfully every week, giving them these meals for free. They're healthy meals. My husband, who is our co-founder, he's the one that makes all the delicious meals every week. He's a chef. And so we trust his judgment and nutrition expertise, I should say, to help us forge ahead and help more people. And so we are excited to say that back in April, I know it's July now, but back in April, we celebrated 3,000 meals that we gave away for free. And by the end of this year, we're hoping to hit 5,000 meals, which feels like a really big number. And
That's
sometimes
amazing.
it's, one of those things like I can't imagine on day one that we would even get here that fast. And so, but that does show that there's a need in our community.
And that
to
it's
support
growing
people.
exponentially.
Absolutely.
Because if it takes 3 years to get to 3,000 and then you hit 5,000 by the end of that same year,
Right.
my goodness,
It
another
is.
2,000 within that same year.
It is.
How on earth? You're not an army.
No,
You're a
no.
really good chef and his wife
Yes.
who
and
are doing this.
And a great group of volunteers. I'm going to tell you, we just welcomed our first volunteers in August of last year. So we'll celebrate 1 year with them in this August. And we just have a team of volunteers that faithfully come and serve in our kitchen every week, usually 3 to 4 hours at a time. And then on Fridays, we have a wonderful group of volunteers that are delivery drivers. And I just love every single one of them. I'm so grateful that they would give their time and just passion and kindness, to love on our clients, our families, every week, so that we can kind of walk this journey with them. So
How do you find out who needs this service?
sure. So we've been getting our applications through the different hospitals. So Mercy and Altman Hospital, their Nurse Navigator program is who we mostly get our referrals from. But we also get them from private referrals. If somebody knows somebody and they can reach out to us, which we welcome anybody who just clearly sees that there's a need. And the ideal person that we're helping, it doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter income, nothing like that. It is solely based on the illness that they're being treated for. And so really it's the person that just found out that they have a life-threatening or terminal illness is ideal because we can start from the very beginning and walk with them in this journey. We do take individuals who are in the middle of their journey. Maybe they've, especially on the cancer side, if they went into remission and now they've been re-diagnosed, we can also come alongside them and help again. Unfortunately, when people are close to hospice, it's very hard because they're not eating, they're not
Right.
needing the services.
Not hungry.
But they're not hungry, you're right. But we can stand alongside, come along and offer some support for the caretakers, for the family, as they go through this next stage.
Right, they need to eat as well.
They do, absolutely.
So often when you're going through treatments, the nutrition is a part of that. How does your husband work with all those different dietary restrictions? My goodness.
There's a lot. So, we've been very blessed to have a woman who is a dietitian who specializes in the nutritional section of her field, I should say. And about 7-8 months ago now, she came alongside and really just helped us to understand the food as medicine concept, to know that the produce that we're using, does have a benefit to the clients that we're serving. Unfortunately, because of our kitchen restrictions, people that have gluten or dairy restrictions or nut allergies or need kosher meals, we can't help right now.
Okay.
But we are very hopeful in the future when we do get our permanent space that's something that we can begin to help, because we pretty much see one to two people a week who need that kind of attention, with their food. And so we just can't, unfortunately, right now, but down the road we will, so.
Yes. Your ministry goes way beyond food, though. There's
does.
just something about that. The visitor coming, taking the time to care, as you put it, walk alongside them during this journey.
Right.
Talk to me about that part of it.
Yeah. So I always say the food is the vehicle that gets us in the door. The food is delicious. I mean, I've had it myself. And so, that part is always wonderful. But it really is the avenue that helps us to get a seat at the table. When somebody is diagnosed with a terminal or life-threatening illness, it's personal. And I know a lot of times we see it publicly displayed in different, commercials, and people talk about it regularly. But personally, individuals that are going through that don't talk about it personally because it is a very private matter. And there is still this level of wanting to keep it to themselves, not feeling like they can get the services because they don't want to be a burden to other people. And so, for us coming alongside and saying, number one, you're not a burden, and illness and disease don't discriminate. And so this could happen to any of us. And what I want to do is just walk alongside you, that you don't have to do this alone. And so what we do is we set up a volunteer that's going to be with them, every Friday, delivering these meals, having the conversation, touching base with them throughout the week, finding out what other needs they might have, and getting them connected with other services or other individuals that can help. And so it really is a privilege and an honor. We don't take it lightly. This is very important to us that we do it well, but that we can be there for them. Everybody starts as a client, but they end as family.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about the food itself. What does a delivery look like?
So delivery has I call them delicious meals, of course, because they look amazing. So everybody gets a dinner plate size container that's usually between 2 and 3 servings within each container. And in there is a protein, a vegetable, and a starch. And it's kind of exploring the palate. We want to give them a good variety of food. And so some of these things individuals probably have never had in their life, but we say trust us, because I am the pickiest eater that you will meet, but I have tried everything my husband has made.
Nice.
Because we do have a philosophy that if I don't eat it, why would I ask somebody else to eat it?
Right.
So it's very true. So they do receive 3 of those pretty large dinner plate containers. And that pretty much can help get them through majority of their week, because what we need to understand is that, people that are sick don't have the appetites like you and I do. So it does take them a lot longer to eat a regular portion size chicken. That is something they maybe can have 3 or 4 servings of over the course of a couple of days. They also get 32-ounce soups. And that's a lot of soup when you think about it.
Yes.
Especially for somebody who's sick. So they get those. Those are just kind of like to help fill in the gaps when they don't feel like having a regular meal. Then we also recently started providing bread. There's a wonderful ministry that's in Hartville called Agape Ministry that donates bread. They go and rescue bread that maybe was misdated, or maybe they made too much of, and they give it out to different organizations all over Stark County and other surrounding counties too, to schools, to churches, and it's just amazing. And so they have blessed us to be able to pass that along. You would be surprised what a loaf of bread can do to somebody, that you just realize somebody needs some bread. And so they do that. And then we also provide a breakfast bag. And in that bag is cereal and peanut butter and oatmeal and honey and tea and just some fillers, So we do try to give them a lot of things that kind of get them through the day-to-day or throughout that week until we come back on Friday.
And it's always a surprise. It's not like you order from a menu.
Nope.
It is a surprise every time.
It is.
But you're doing this for how many people? And I know I heard you say free.
Yes, it is free. And so, we have helped 51 families since we've started. And so each of those families have been with us. It could be just a few weeks. It could be a few years. We do have clients that are still on our services that started with us from the very beginning. And that's okay, because because we think it's important to, no matter how long the journey is, to walk with them. And so we do review every 3 to 6 months. We review with each client, making sure that we're meeting their needs that, they spelled out in the beginning. If they do get better, we then, kind of give them the encouragement that they can begin to do this on their own. If nothing has changed and they're pretty much staying the same, then we can continue the services. But we do make sure that we don't, if there's, food restrictions, if they don't like fish, we do try to make sure that we're accommodating,
Yes.
those kind of things. So, yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, free meals, you need financial support.
Absolutely.
And this is an amazing thing to get involved
Yes.
with. You have a big fundraiser coming up. Tickets went on sale this month.
They did.
For an event that's going to take place in October.
That's true.
And you have how many at this point in time remaining?
We have 28 tickets
So
left.
do not dilly-dally. You want to buy a ticket and attend in October.
Yes,
Tell us first of
yes.
all about the fundraiser.
Absolutely. So this will be our second year for our Be the Change Gala, which is October 18th. It's a Friday night at the Courtyard Marriott, which is right here in North Canton. And we had 250 tickets, and we have 28 left. And so we're just super excited.
Well, everyone must have had a wonderful time
They
last
did.
year.
I mean, it was a night to remember for sure. What an honor it was to have so many amazing people come around us last year, hear our story, hear what we're trying to do here in our community, and support us. And we raised a lot of money last year. We were hoping to raise $5,000, and we raised over $17,000 last year.
word.
And so this year our goal is a little bit higher, of course, and we have a lot of really fun things planned that night. But most importantly, it's sharing about the clients and the families that we serve and helping more people here in our community. So
One thing that's very cool is that you have caught the attention of other organizations. So I'm thinking of Simply Give, I know, is a
Yes.
big supporter of Compassion
Absolutely.
Delivered. Talk about that and how important
Yeah.
those kind of collaborations are.
Oh, collaboration is like the best. And I think it's important to play what I call play well in the sandbox with
Yes.
others because everybody is doing what they can. Not everybody can do everything. So you need other organizations to support and to come alongside. And so we have a great relationship with Olivia and Simply Give and just love what they're doing by sharing kindness. And it's very simple. It's a very simple act of kindness and absolutely love what they're about. We also get our produce from Pegasus Farms, and Pegasus is a great organization who works with different age groups all across the board with disabilities, and just love that. We've also been collaborating, talking with, I should say, Love Our Community, which is in Hartville. They help
Yes.
the homeless population, and so all of us kind of weave in and out of each other's lives, really with what we're doing. We have a wonderful relationship with community hospice, and it's been learning about the hospice process that, it's not as scary as what it might sound like. It's more palliative care. It's more, making sure they have the services, that need to be in play. And ultimately it's allowing somebody to stay home, to be in the comfort of their home while they go through this and not need to be in a hospital per se all the time. And so it's really important that we just align ourselves, with other organizations who are, moving forward with helping people, loving on them, showing them compassion and kindness. Those are our key things. And so there's a lot of great organizations out there, and everybody is doing all that they can to help somebody. So it's great.
Your background was what, Amanda?
My background is business and communications.
Okay, well, that all makes sense. And you married a chef.
I married a chef.
But
right.
then somehow this need came to you. How was that?
Did. So the long version of it is, and I won't tell the whole thing because we don't have a lot of time,
right.
but my grandfather was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease when I was in high school, at end of my high school year going into college. And my grandfather's life, my grandparents' life was very impactful for me. And so basically him being diagnosed with that really began this long journey a long time ago. But we were introduced to an organization in Denver, Colorado that my cousin worked for a long time, and I would just financially support them every fall. And then when my husband and I got married and one fall I wrote a check to support, and he said, who are they? What do they do? And I said, I have no idea. I'm just really free with my money, I guess. Yeah. So, and he said, well, could you find out? And so long story short, that was an awkward call to my cousin to be like, hey, I love what you're doing, but what do you do? And, but to find out that they had been doing this in Denver for a long time, they're getting ready to celebrate 30 years, which is amazing. And they help over 4,500, 5,000 people a week in Denver.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And so we have just kind of, looked at them. There were 14 other organizations around the country at the time. We're 15. We're the only organization that's not in a major metropolitan area. And so, it is a little different in the concept, or how it's rolled out, I should say. But we're just really grateful that we can bring this to our community and be able to help in this way.
Yes, indeed. Your cousin's got to be very happy to see this happening.
He is.
Wow.
I know. One day I'll get him out here to see it.
Very cool.
They're a young family, and so we're excited to welcome another family member. They're due in September. So
congrats to them.
He wasn't able to come out for the gala, but next year hopefully. So
and bring that little babe with.
That's right.
We are speaking with Amanda Ann Schutz. She is from Compassion Delivered. Going to take a short break. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.